This is Professor Varun Dutt from IIT Mandi, and I'll be continuing on Large Applications Practicum, telling you more advanced concepts in Git today. So let's get started. We have already looked at Git, how to commit files, how to stage files. If we want to unstage a file, all we need to do is to first add the file, and in this case, it will stage it. It is staging all the files. We're checking the status, and you can see that README file had been renamed and staged, and modified contributing.md had been modified, and it had also been staged to be committed. Now, right below the changes to be committed, it says this statement git reset head file, and basically this is the command to be used for unstaging the file. So if we run this git reset head contributing md, so basically this will unstage the file, and if you can see now, changes not staged for commit are modified contributing and md, and the readme file which has been renamed continues to be staged. So we may also want to unmodify the modified files, basically discard our changes. And suppose we are in a stage which is like this, which was in the previous slide, and now if we actually check out contributing.md, which is basically checking out its previous version, we will actually completely overwrite contributing.md and the changes made to it. So basically this is a way of actually unmodifying all the changes which have been made to contributing.md. So now there is a way of showing your remotes. Basically, generally we said we clone a repository and then we track the global repository. So if we run the git clone command, we start tracking that particular repository. We can cd into it, and if we actually say git remote, it will show us origin, which is referring to this particular GitHub page where the repository is being tracked. So if we specify the -v option, it shows you the URLs that the Git has stored for the short name to be used when reading and writing to that remote. So if we write git remote -v, it will actually show you the URLs for fetching and pushing, which we'll come to very shortly. But remember, these are the links or the references to the remote repository. So now, what is adding and fetching a remote repository? So we can actually basically write git remote, and this will actually show us that we are tracking the origin. And then we can write git remote add pb this. So what this will do, it will basically create a short name, as the syntax says, git remote add short name URL for this particular repository. So if we now do git remote -v, you will see that it will track the origin, but it will also track pb, which is pb is like a name now, which can be used to track this particular file. So in this case, you can actually see we are tracking git. Now if we say git fetch pb, we can actually fetch the pb file, which is referring to this remote repository. And fetching basically means that it will actually check out the file from the remote repository and put it in your local repository, and it is ready to be merged and taken forward. So there are two concepts in Git. One is fetching and the other is pulling. So the difference is that when we do a get fetch origin, it basically fetches any new work that have been pushed to that server since you clone. So if somebody else has made changes to that repository, then that will be fetched. And it is important to note that git fetch command only downloads the data to your local repository. It doesn't actually merge it with any of your work or modify that you're currently working on. Okay. And you have to merge it manually into your work when you're ready. In contrast, git pull commands is more powerful. It will automatically fetch and merge the remote branch into your local branch, and this may be also easier and more comfortable workflow for you. And by default, git clone command automatically sets up your local master branch to track the remote branch, which we have already seen. So running git pull generally fetches the data from your server originally cloned from and automatically tries to merge it into the code you're currently working on. So pulling means not only fetching, but also merging the changes with your local repository. So now there is also pushing your to your local remote and repository, which is once you have made all the changes, you can run the git push command, which is remote name, branch name. And basically what this means is that this allows you to push the changes to a global repository, which is the remote repository. And here you can actually see we are writing git push origin master. So in this case, we are actually referring to git and push, and the origin is the remote repository and master is my current repository. So I'm pushing the changes to the remote repository. And we can also show git remote show origin. We want to see basically some information about the remote repository. So that is also possible to be done. So in this case, you can actually see that we are having a bunch of information on what it is tracking, and then it also shows the remote branches being tracked. And we will be looking at these in more details when we do branching and merging in the next lecture. So now there is also another way of creating tags for your repository. So if you wanted to, there are two types of tags, lightweight and annotated tags. And basically annotated tags are checksummed and have more information around it. Lightweight tags are very much like branch and doesn't change. It's just like a pointer to commit. So annotated tag you can create by writing git tag -a, the name of the tag, -m, the name. So what it will do, it is basically going to create, and if you write git tag, then it will show you all the tags being created. So in this case, the -a option is when the tag command, which is basically the name of the tag, and -m specifies the tagging message, which is stored with the tag. You don't need to specify the message for an annotated tag. Then you'll open an editor and you'll have to type it up. On the other hand, lightweight tags can be created by writing git tag and the name of the tag, and it's simply as simple as that, and it'll create a tag. And you can also show what tags have been created by writing the git show command, and it will actually show you the commit associated with that particular tag and all the and the message which was actually posted with the tag. You can also show git log pretty on one line. And as we have seen that this git log command will show us all the commits. And then if we forgot to actually tag one of the commits, we can actually tag it by writing git tag -a, the name of the tag, and the first initials of this hex initials which are created of the commit, which is a unique name, so as to create a tag with it. So in this case, if you want to push the changes to the global repository, we have already seen it, but tags don't get transferred automatically. So to transfer the tags, we have to push them explicitly. So we have to write git push origin, the name of the tag. And also remember that we can also do git push origin tags, which will push all the tags. This is for a specific tag, and this is for all the tags. So one more thing is that sometimes we may want to check out a certain version. Basically, we want to create a branch in the repository. And for that particular thing, the branch is created by writing the checkout -b, the name of the branch, and the tag command. So basically, the idea is you can't really check out a tag in Git. But if you want to put a version of your repository in your working directory that looks like a specific tag, you can create a new branch with it. We'll be looking at how we can use this for doing more development. But in this case, basically the development will move on this branch. Of course, we will see how we can move from one branch to the other branch in the next lecture. But what this will do, it will specifically check out the commit corresponding to this tag, and it will put it in a new branch which is different from the master branch called version 2. So we will continue more concepts in Git about branching and merging in the next lecture. This has been prepared from Git SCM website. I acknowledge my TAs for helping out with the slides. And the activity for this lecture is to try out what we just learned in this lecture. So what we first do is to modify a repository to add another README file detailing what program it does. So remember, now we have added a file to the repository and we need to track it. So we need to add, stage it, and then we can commit it. And then we can also amend this commit. We have already looked at how to amend commits and remove this file from the files committed. You can also unstage it by doing the reset. And finally, remove the file from your local working directory, which is writing the git rm command, and now pushing the changes to the remote git repository and inspecting the remote and fetch changes from the remote. So basically, we can push the changes, first fetch and push the changes to the remote. And we can also try tagging the files using both the annotated and lightweight tags. And this can be attached to the recent commit or to a distant commit we have already seen. And we can actually share the tag separately by pushing the tag separately and also checking out a tagged version in a separate branch on your folder. So all these changes can be done. And I'll would request you to try these out and we will meet again in the next lecture. Thank you.